And God said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. Genesis 17:19. In other words, God says, no, I won't accept him. That was wrong. Don't say that God approved polygamy just because it's recorded in the Bible. I cannot see that he is approving this at all.
And this section is entitled Ishmael's Inheritance.
All right. And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him and will make him fruitful and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, which Sarah shall bear unto thee at the set time in the next year. That's Genesis 17, verses 20 and 21. Now, God holds to the promise that he made. God is not to be deterred or deferred from this at all. He's going to do the exact thing that he said that he would do. He speaks as if Isaac were already born and in their midst. He speaks of things that are not as if they are and is going to be next year. And he left off talking with him, and God went up from Abraham. Genesis 17:22. Can you imagine God just coming down, sitting, talking to you? That would be amazing. In other words, Abraham, you might just keep quiet. God has already decided this. My friend, there are things which you and I might as well stop petitioning the Lord for. There are times when you've said enough and you don't need to say that anymore. Sometimes folk just pester the Lord in a prayer when they've already had the answer, which of course is no. God says to Abraham, let this alone now. This is enough. You need not mention this anymore. I have not accepted it, and I do not intend to. God is going to hear and answer other prayers of Abraham, and we will find that God listens to Abraham. However, in the case of his covenant, he's making it with Isaac and not Ishmael. That's settled. Abraham might as well stop trying to change God's mind. A great many people today pray about things that God maybe does not intend to hear or answer at all. I try to be very careful about asking people to pray about certain things. I want at least to feel like there's a reasonable chance of God's hearing it and answering. And Abraham took Ishmael his son, and all that were born in his house, and all that were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin, all in the same day, as God had said unto him. Abraham was 90 years old and 9, so he's 99 years old, when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. Ishmael, his son, was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. And in the self same day was Abraham circumcised and Ishmael his son. And all the men of his house, born in the house, and bought with money of the stranger, were circumcised with him. Genesis 17:23 through 27. Now, circumcision is the badge of the covenant which God has made with Abraham. Someone will ask, why was Ishmael included? Hasn't God promised that Ishmael is going to be a great nation also? He's included in that sense, but he's not one of the one whom God had promised to Abraham at the beginning. He's not to be the father of the nation that God will use and the nation through which the Messiah will come.
All right. And so that's J. Vernon McGee's commentary. Really, Chuck Smith, all that's different is he says it's not to Ishmael or to the Arabs and the promise or the land, even though this section is entitled Ishmael's Inheritance. It's kind of interesting that they are. It's not for them.
For him. Well, maybe it was what inheritance he was going to or not going to get. This is kind of because instead of just Ishmael's inheritance,
Well, it does talk about
It
there's
does.
going to be like 12 princes
Yes.
and all this. He's going to be
Yeah.
a great nation of himself, and he did. We see that. And, it's kind of interesting, as I think about this, two brothers can't get along, but, they kind of fight.
And that happens a lot.
and they're still fighting.
Yeah.
And so, it's a sad state. I guess it'd been nice if he went back to Egypt and just blended in there.
Yeah. But he didn't.
No, he just went down to Beersheba. I think as we studied this last time, is where she went, and kind of stayed among the Israelites. But anyway, it would be hard to send your son off, but it's representative of the flesh, as we learned in the precepts upon precepts in the spirit. Yes, you have to get rid of the flesh and keep the spirit.
Yeah.
Is how Isaac represents. Isaac is probably one of the best, if not Joseph, one of the best types of Christ in the Bible. We didn't really go into that, and we stopped the chapter before Isaac in precepts upon precepts.
The first time around.
And so that concludes the reading of God's Word tonight. I hope that you got a blessing out of it. And
well, I did, if nobody else did. I really did, honestly.
You get more blessing out of reading this.
I do. I'm loving it.
Anything else? I don't think we've had any comments.
Well, I thought something popped up on my.
We do on. We are on Twitch. We're live on Twitch, Facebook, Rumble, and YouTube. And Twitch, there's usually somebody wanting. There's probably some kid wanting you to watch their.
Oh, okay.
Them play a game.
Well, I seen it pop up when we first started.
That's what Twitch is really for.
Yeah,
but I thought
it's gaming.
Is gaming.
Well, maybe it might touch somebody.
Your game. But I don't think we've had any comments or questions since the last one that we did. I'm back 9 days ago, so I know I'm not. But I do encourage you to make comments and ask questions. Yeah. That's what I'm here for, at least, until we get a lot of comments and questions. And I can't. That would, take advantage of this time. You can make comments and ask questions, and I will take them up where your question is, and on the next Waycast. So look on it the next time you see that I post something, that we post something, and see in the comment section at the end of the video if I have taken that up. We are, if you wish to remain anonymous, whenever that you make a comment or a question, you can write us. We are a 501c3 company at Christ Recovery Ministry at P.O. Box 336, Berea, Kentucky, 40403. The phone number is 859-339-7633. If you wish to opine, name and town, and let us know if you wish to remain anonymous or not. And we will abide by your wishes. We're good at keeping anonymity and confidentiality because we've learned to do that at Celebrate Recovery.
Yes.
And so with that, if there's nothing else,
nope,
then we will do as we always do every night, and we will say
good night until we meet again. Adios, au revoir, I'll be the same till then. And oh, it's always sweet sorrow to part.
You'll know you'll always remain in my heart. Good night, sleep well, don't let the bed part down. Here's a wish and a prayer that every dream come true. And now till we meet again. Adios, au revoir, and little friend.
Good night.
And with that, we want to tell you, don't never forget you are truly loved. And with that, we say good night.
Good night. Say good night, Annabelle. Good night. Annabelle's over here. She always, yeah, there she goes. She always has to sing with us.